Wow, unbelievably hot. Jeez, temperature's unreal. I've had thunderstorms the past 2 nights, and yet look at it, it's beautiful out here. Anyway, KTM's been having a wee rest the past wee while, and I've been using the Bolt. Had it for since 2014, 5,000 Ks, never use it. It was for my wife. She never used it much, hardly anything. And the reason I didn't use it was because it was fucking uncomfortable. Until I put these springs on it. Whoa, absolutely brilliant. And I've got it set up one click. As you can see, just one click, and that's enough for me. I got this bag as well at AMX Superstore, tied on, and that'll do. I can use it for going to work or going anywhere, nipping to the shop to get shopping. Plenty of room to put in that. So I've got a few other things that I want to do. One thing is the tyres. These are the original tyres that came with the bike, the Bridgestone. Now, there's nothing wrong with Bridgestone tyres as a rule. There's still a lot of wear left in them, but to be honest with you, they're shit. You know, everybody that has this steering shake when you're hitting about 70 kilometres an hour, I get it as well. And I've got the funny feeling that it's these tyres, and the reason being, you see the shape of this tread, it's like that. When I slow right down, I'm coming to a stop, you can feel the wheel going like that. It's like it's in time with that tread. It might be my imagination, but I think the tyres are playing the biggest problem. So I've bought a new set of tyres. Pirelli Cruise Tech, was it? Pirelli Cruise, was it Pirelli? Or Metzler? Metzler Cruise Tech, can't remember. Anyway, I bought a set of them. They look good tyres, got really good reviews on them. The grip is supposed to be second to none. I'm in wet weather, and as many you know, I ride every day of the week. Well, every day that I'm going to work, I always ride. And I usually use my trusty KTM. And which I'll still be using for work most of the time, especially when the weather's crap, because that thing, ABS and everything, is fantastic. This Bolt doesn't have ABS because it's 2014 type. So I'm going to update the tyres. I've got them on order, so when they come I'll put them on. I've already got the LED lighting. I don't know if I like this windshield on or not, or whether it'd be better just taking it off. The good thing about it is it stops your body from getting the wind, but the wind sort of hits you here just below your helmet, so I don't know whether I'm better getting that and protecting my body or just doing away with the whole thing. The other thing I want to get for it is LED indicators. Get rid of these cumbersome things, and then that'll be all LED after that. The mirrors are good, but they could do with going out a wee bit, so I'll maybe get a couple of these extensions. The same ones that I put on the KTM. You know, it just sticks it maybe inch and a half, couple of inches, which will be enough to see past. The other thing is this. I don't know, you might be able to tell me the speedometer is terrible, you know, in the sunlight, and I see you can buy the visors, but even still it's pretty crap. I'm just wondering if you can change the glass, because it's like a smoked glass. I don't know if you can change it for a clear one, or I've seen these other Speedos, the Cosso ones, but they're a wee bit expensive. But yeah, I'll see about that later on. So there's a lot I want to do to it as soon as I can fix it up for myself. My wife, who doesn't ride it much, she still wants to ride, so I'm thinking about getting something different for her. Maybe Honda Rebel 500, it's big enough for her really. She's got a full license, but she just doesn't like too big a bike. The only good thing about the 1100 CMX, the Rebel, is it's automatic, which would be a lot easier for her to ride, but I'll see. I'll take her down to the bike shop at some point and let her sit on one of these Rebels, take one for a spin and see how she fancies it. And yeah, so anyway, what I'm going to do with this today is do a wee oil change. I've done one before on this, but because it doesn't get used an awful lot, what I'm going to do is use a fully synthetic. So I'm going to put the 540 fully synthetic racing oil in, along with K&N oil filter, K&N 204. And the reason I like using K&N is because it's got a nut on the end of the thing, so you can screw it off with a spanner if it's really tight. You know, these old oil filters that you get that don't have that, and they're sometimes they go tight and you can't get them off, and I don't like putting a screwdriver through the oil filter. It doesn't do it any good. So, and here's the old shocks that came off the bike. Yeah, I'm glad they're off. Horrible bloody things, uncomfortable. Anyway, I'll go and get my tools ready and we'll do this oil change on the bolt. So I'm under the Yamaha bowl at present. So what you need to drain the oil is your pan and your bolt. When the sump is a 17 and the oil filter one is a 17 as well. Anyway, get a 17 spanner socket, get it on, give it a good crank like that. This is going to be hot, so turn it this way, a bit better. So watch your fingers as it is burning. Keep pushing it up as you turn it. That's very hot. And then just let my fingers cool for a second, and then when you feel it's going to come out, pull it away, stick it up there and let your oil drain. Now the good thing about this is the oil's still golden, which is good, because it's nearly 2 years ago I last changed it, but it's hardly done any miles. So, but you've got to change it. I mean, you know, the different weather conditions, hot, cold, damp, you're better changing it. And a good thing about the bolt is if you get the sump drained out completely, absolutely completely, and the oil filter off it, it takes around the 4 litres. It'll take the whole of the 4 litre tin, which is good. So I'll just let this drain. I'll let it drain for a while, and while it's doing that, I'll have a look into doing the oil filter. So as that oil's draining, I'll slacken off the oil filter. You just need to pull the oil bath forward a wee bit so as it catches the. There you go. And then what I do, go and have a cuppa, leave it sitting for an hour, let it all drain out properly, and then you know all the shit's out the engine. So with the new oil filter, get a wee bit of oil, just rub it on the rubber ring so as the rubber slides on the mating surface, and then give the mating surface a clean. Any crap off it that you so that it's spotless, and then screw your oil filter on. Now an oil filter's only supposed to go hand tight, as tight as you can get it by hand. Because of the position of this, it's not easy to get your hand in. So I'll use the ratchet, just give it a wee to what I think would be that a wee bit to what I think would be hand tight. I think that'll do it. And then once that's done, take your pan out and put your sump bolt back in, give it a good clean first, put it back in, and then you're ready to put the oil in the bike. The oil's drained out the sump, the filter's changed, new filter's on. Once you put the bolt in the sump, give it a clean up. Get your dipstick out. Your dipstick has your marks on it, so there's a minimum mark that it should be at, there's a maximum mark. Always try and have it up to the maximum, and it should go between oil changes without having to top it up. Anyway, this engine's pretty simple, because if you change the oil without changing the oil filter, it takes about 3.6 litres or 3.7. If you change the oil filter, it takes exactly 4 litres. And when you buy this stuff, it's exactly 4 litres. So you just put the whole can in, you don't have to worry. Unless you don't change the oil filter. But for the price of an oil filter, why on earth would you want to change oil without changing the filter? So I always change the filter. So anyway, 4 litres. There we go. And the wind's getting up. I think there's another thunderstorm coming in. So that's all the oil in, all 4 litres, which means you can use this can to put your old oil in, and then once you have a can full of old oil, you can take it to your nearest waste refuse, who will gladly take the old engine oil off you, and it will be put to good use. Don't throw it in your bin or pour it down a drain, because you could end up going to bloody jail for that sort of thing. So once that's done, put your dipstick back in, start it up, run it for a minute, and switch it off, let it sit for a minute and check your dipstick, although it'll be okay. Now, to do the oil you need the bike sitting level, so I've got a battery sitting under my foot stand, just so as the bike's sitting dead level, and it makes it easier for changing, for topping up the oil I should say. When it's draining out you want it lying on its side so as it gets all the oil out, but for this, yeah, sitting on something will help it. Anyway, we'll start it up and see how it does. So, keys down this side. Straighten the steering up a wee bit, give it a start. Oil lights went out anyway, which is a good thing. Listen to that. Delcovic exhaust. Is that awesome or what? Yeah, that's Delcovic exhaust, and as you can see, I don't know if you'll see it or not, I've still got the baffle in it. You take the baffle out, it makes a hell of a lot more noise, but to me it's just nice with the baffle in it, so I'll just leave it at that. So, let the bike sit for a minute, take the dipstick out, it will be at the full mark, which is ideal. If it's a wee bit over, it doesn't matter, it'll be fine. And then that's it, so that's your oil change. I've got the air filter to change. I've undecided what I'm going to do with it. Do I keep the stock air filter on? Do I put a K&N filter in it, which is what I was thinking of doing? Or do I get rid of the whole of this and buy something a bit less obtrusive? Or do I modify this? I don't know, I really don't know what to do. What do you think? What do you think I should do? Should I just put a K&N in it or change the whole thing? I don't know, we'll see what happens, eh? That'll probably be in the next video. Although I'll probably have the tyres before then. They should come Monday or Tuesday, and then I'll get these Bridgestones off and get the new, what did I say, Metzler Cruise Tech. Yeah, I'll get them on and see what it's like. Anyway, that's it for now. That's the bolt done. Oil changed, so I'll be able to use it for work. And who knows, I might have another bike lined up here soon. What will it be though?